In 480 BC, the Persian Empire under King Xerxes once again set its sights on Greece. This was no mere border raid he was preparing. It was revenge for his father Darius's defeat at Marathon a decade earlier. Xerxes craved conquest. He desired to add the independent Greek city-states to his vast domain. The Persian Empire stretched from the Indus River in the east to the Aegean Sea in the west. Its armies were vast, its resources seemingly limitless. Xerxes' invasion force is said to number in the millions, though modern estimates place it in the hundreds of thousands. Even so, it was a force capable of overwhelming most any foe. Some city-states, cowed by the Persian might, chose submission. They offered earth and water to Xerxes, tokens of surrender. Others, however, refused to yield their freedom. Led by Athens and Sparta, these defiant Greeks prepared for a desperate fight against seemingly insurmountable odds. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a battle that would determine the fate of Greece and shape the course of Western civilization. Like and subscribe now to help this channel grow, and let me know in the comments below what story from history you want to see next. Thanks. Let's get back to the battle. Panic spread through Greece as news of the Persian advance arrived. Refugees fled their homes, seeking safety behind the walls of fortified cities. They consulted the oracle at Delphi in desperation, who offered cryptic advice that some interpreted as a prophecy of doom, that only by wooden walls would they survive. Some thought this meant the walls of Athens, but Themistocles, the leading political leader at the time, declared it to mean the walls of ships. The vast and seemingly unstoppable Persian army advanced relentlessly southward. City after city fell before them. Thebes was a powerful city-state in central Greece and chose to side with the Persians, adding to the growing sense of dread among the Greek resistance. Athens was a center of Greek culture and democracy, and it faced a particularly stark choice. Their city lay directly in the path of the Persian advance. Abandonment meant certain destruction, yet resistance seemed futile against such a mighty foe. Themistocles was a cunning strategist and gifted orator, and persuaded his fellow Athenians to adopt a daring plan, evacuate the city, and make their stand at sea. Leaving their homes and temples behind, the Athenians boarded their ships. They were joined by citizens of other Greek city-states who refused to bow to Persian rule. Renowned for its fierce warriors, Sparta pledged its support and sent its legendary hoplites to bolster the allied Greek forces. The allied Greek fleet, a collection of triremes, gathered in the narrow strait between the island of Salamis and the mainland. This strategic location, chosen by Themistocles, offered the Greeks a crucial advantage. The narrow waters negated the numerical superiority of the Persian fleet, forcing the enemy ships to crowd together and limiting their ability to maneuver. Morale among the Greeks remained fragile, though bolstered by their unity in choice of strategic location. They faced an enemy far greater in number and resources. The Persian fleet was a mix of Phoenician, Egyptian, and other subject peoples, and they outnumbered the Greek triremes by a significant margin. Yet, despite the daunting odds, a glimmer of hope flickered in the hearts of the Greek sailors. They were fighting for their freedom, their families, their very way of life. Their determination, coupled with Themistocles' cunning plan, offered the possibility of victory against all odds. Dawn broke over the Saronic Gulf, casting an eerie glow on the hundreds of ships massed on either side of the straits. Xerxes was confident in the superiority of his fleet and constructed a special throne on a nearby hillside to watch the battle from a safe location. He anticipated a swift and decisive victory, a crushing blow that would break the back of Greek resistance. The battle began with a thunderous roar as hundreds of drums beat in unison. Persian ships, larger and heavier than their Greek counterparts, attempted to use their size to ram and sink the nimble triremes. The Greeks, however, anticipated this tactic and employed superior seamanship and knowledge of the local currents. The Greek triremes deftly evaded the lumbering Persian vessels. They harassed the enemy flanks, launching volleys of arrows and javelins, seeking to disrupt their formations and sow confusion. The narrow confines of the straits, which initially seemed to favor the Persians, became their undoing. Their ships were unable to maneuver effectively in the crowded waters and became easy targets for the faster, more agile Greek triremes. A master of deception, Themistocles laid a trap. He intentionally allowed a small contingent of Persian ships to break through the Greek lines, seemingly creating an opportunity for a decisive Persian victory. As the Persian ships surged through the gap in the Greek lines, they were met by a surprise counterattack. Athenian triremes, held in reserve by Themistocles, slammed into the exposed flanks of the Persian formation, ramming and sinking ships in a chaotic melee. The Persian fleet was caught in a deadly pincer movement, and they began to panic. Their formations crumbled, and their numerical advantage evaporated in the face of the Greeks' ferocity and tactical brilliance. The tide of battle turned. What began as a seemingly even contest became a rout. Persian ships, with their crews demoralized and their formations shattered, were sunk or captured by the relentless Greek triremes. Watching in horror from his lofty perch, Xerxes realized the magnitude of the disaster unfolding before his eyes. His dreams of conquest lay shattered in the waters of the Saronic Gulf. The Battle of Salamis ended in a decisive Greek victory. The Persian fleet was decimated, with hundreds of ships lost. Though outnumbered, the Greeks triumphed through superior tactics, courage, and a determination to defend their homeland. The Battle of Salamis marked a turning point in the Greco-Persian Wars. The Persian invasion, once seemingly unstoppable, was dealt a crippling blow. Never again would Persia pose such a serious threat to Greece, although now the Greeks would face the remaining Persian army on land in the upcoming months. With his pride wounded and his army weakened, Xerxes sailed to Asia Minor, leaving behind a substantial force to continue the campaign in Greece. Exhausted but jubilant, the Greeks celebrated their naval victory. They faced the might of the Persian Empire and emerged triumphant. The victory at Salamis breathed new life into the Greek resistance, proving that even the seemingly invincible Persian war machine can be defeated. Despite their losses, the Persians remained a potent force in Greece. The war was far from over, but the victory gave the Greeks the upper hand. Emboldened by their success, the Greeks were now confident in their ability to defend their freedom against the Persian threat. The Battle of Salamis marked a turning point in Greek history, not just militarily, but also psychologically. It solidified the Greeks' sense of themselves as a distinct people, united by their language, culture, and shared values. The significance of the Battle of Salamis reverberates through history, far beyond the immediate aftermath of the Greco-Persian Wars. The victory of the Greek city-states over the Persian Empire had profound implications for the development of Western civilization. Had the Persians triumphed at Salamis, the course of Western history would have been drastically different. The nascent democratic institutions of Athens, which would later serve as a model for governments across the globe, might have been dealt a mortal blow. The cultural achievements of classical Greece, its philosophy, art, and literature might never have flourished. The Battle of Salamis ensured the survival of Greek culture and ideals. It paved the way for the Golden Age of Athens, a period of unprecedented intellectual and artistic flourishing that laid the foundation for Western civilization as we know it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Trotastoria to continue learning from the annals of history.